Right, hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm back with another match preview. This time it's Derby County versus Swansea City in the Sky Bet Championship this Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff away at Pride Park. So it's going to be a tough game, obviously off the back of a really positive, dominant performance against Sheffield United at home. A 4-0 victory, goals from Goncalo Franco, two from Zanva Potnik, who's on fire, and then rounded off superbly by Malik Yakoue with his first goal for the club. So an excellent display against Sheffield Wednesday. You know, with all due respect, a lot of teams have been beaten Wednesday quite comfortably. It is a game we expected to win, and even despite that, I didn't expect it to be quite that comfortable and us to control the game quite that much. But um, as I said, it was an excellent win, and you've got to beat what's in front of you, and it has, maybe given us an outside chance of being in the playoffs. Obviously we don't want to get too carried away. I know we've won 2 games on the bounce, but we're still 5 points off. That's still another good 2 wins away, and that's without we have to obviously see what goes on around us with the other teams, because obviously they'll need to drop points for us to obviously move up. But we're going in the right direction. I feel like as long as we're no one's expecting us to make the playoffs, we'll definitely not go up. But as long as we've got an outside chance for as long as possible, and I think that's obviously going to be entertaining. It's good to be in with a chance of the playoffs right till the very end, and stay in the playoff hunt for as long as you can, really, because that's what everybody wants to see. Even if we don't get there, at least if we've got the chance, and we've got something to play for come the end of the season. But it seems like, because obviously the start to the season we had, it does seem, if we do want to achieve that and reach the playoffs, it does seem like we're going to have to win every single game, because we've won 2 on the bounce and we're still 5 points adrift. So a game against Derby, a tough game away against a team above us, in terms of the playoff hunt, it is really a must win, because you lose and then you could go 8 points behind the playoffs again, and you sort of slip away again. So it seems like, especially in recent years, we've always done that. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, sort of thing, and we're back to square one then, really. So we've got to keep following up our wins, and we've got an away win under our belt now against Watford 2 weeks ago. So hopefully we can back it up and make it 3 wins on the bounce, and make it two unbeaten, well, 2 wins in a row on the road as well. So it's going to be a tough game against Derby. They are a good side. They sit above us in the table, and obviously they beat us earlier on in the season, which was Matos' first game in charge, and that was probably the worst that we've played under Matos, I would say, off the top of my head that I can think of. Um, obviously things have only been up from there, and we're definitely on much better form now than we were then. And we've signed some players since then. A lot has changed, and a lot is still to change as well. But it's going to be a tough game against Derby, and there's no doubt about that. But the form we're on and the way we're playing, there's no reason why we can't go there and get a win. But I'll run you through the injury news for both teams. So starting off with Derby, they've got Langas out with a hamstring injury. They've got Johnston out with a hamstring injury. They've got Carlton Morris with a knee injury, and Lewis Travis, who will be suspended through a red card. They got 4 players out missing for them. As for the Swans, then we've got Melka Waddell out with a knock injury, Zidane Nusa with a back injury, and Adam Eder with a hamstring injury. So those 3 players will be missing from this game. And then in terms of the key players that I've highlighted for both sides, so starting off with Derby, the first one I've gone with is Ryan Brewster, ex-Swans player. I feel like since he left us, he probably has struggled to hit the ground running and to find some form. Obviously, he was at Sheffield United for a good couple of years, and now he's obviously at Derby. I'm not too sure if he's been anywhere in between. I can't think off the top of my head, but I know he has struggled to sort of find his feet. I think he played his best stuff, arguably his best stuff for us. And as I said, he struggled since then, but we all know there's a player in there, and definitely someone who can cause problems on his day. So I'll go with Ryan Brewster. Second player I'm going to go with is Ben Brereton Diaz. Another good player on his day who's been around a little bit. Sheffield United, Stoke, Southampton. He's played for a lot of clubs, and he's definitely someone who's got a lot of experience. And he's still relatively young. He's not obviously a youngster, but he's not coming towards the end of his career either. So I'll go with him. And the last player I'm going to go with is Sammy Schmodix. Obviously, they've signed on loan from from Ipswich. I'm not too sure if he's actually made an appearance yet for them, but obviously, as I said, he's got a lot of experience with Ipswich and also Blackburn as well in this division, and I think he's played in the Premier League as well. So again, a lot of experience. So yeah, they're the three players I'll pick. As for the Swans, if there's any Derby fans watching this, these are the players you need to look out for. Number one, I'm going to go with Ethan Galbraith. Such a versatile player. He's been playing at right back under our new manager, but his natural position is a midfielder. But he plays wherever he plays equally as well. So yeah, I'll go with him. Second player I'm going to go with is the top scorer in the division, Zam Vapotnik. He's a player who's on excellent form. As I said, he is the top scorer in the league. Scored two excellent goals on the weekend against Sheffield Wednesday. So hopefully, he will be wanting to continue that and hopefully try and get to the 20 goals marks. I think he's on 17 in all competitions, 15 in the league. And the third player I'm going to go with is Goncalo Franco, who for me was our best player last season, did win Player of the Season, but I think has been a bit off the boil this season at times. But I think in recent weeks he's back to his best. He's been absolutely excellent. Chipped in with a goal as well, and he's starting to add a lot more goals to his game this season than he did last season. So yeah, no, I'll go with Franco. And then the team lineup I'm going to go with then. So in goals I'll go with Lawrence Figueroa. Right back Ethan Galbraith. Left back I'll go with Josh Tyman. Two centre backs Ben Cabango and Cameron Burgess. In midfield I'll go with Marco Stamenic, Goncalo Franco, and I'll go with Leo Walter. I like to see him come in. On the wings, I'll go with the two Brazilians, Ronald and Nunes, and up front, Zamba Potnik. And then in terms of a score prediction, I'm going to go with we're on good form at the moment. It's going to be a tight game. I don't think it's going to be. It's not obviously not going to be as comfortable as the game on the weekend. But I'm going to say Derby County 1, Swansea City 2. I'll say Ryan Brewster to score for Derby, ex-Swans player. Cursed, it's going to happen. And then for the Swans, I'll go with Vapotnik again. And I'm also going to go with Ronald. He needs a goal. I think his performances have picked up in the last couple of weeks. He played really well on the weekend, got an assist, but I think he's just missing that goal, which I think he'll finally get. So, yeah, 2-1 to the Swans. But once again, a massive thanks for watching this. We'll be back tomorrow with a match reaction as usual. So stay tuned and thanks for watching.